Good morning. We're starting the Zoom in 9 minutes. Oh, thank you. My coffee delivered. Starting the Zoom in 9 minutes. Starting the live in 9 minutes. So I'll see you on the hour. That's 9 o'clock London time, 10 o'clock South Africa time, Europe time, and something 30 in India. It's half past the hour in India. So if you're with us from India, welcome. I'm just going to do my sharing and continue getting ready. So we're doing triangles to tetrahedra this morning. So if you haven't already, I'll tell you what I will do is I will put the link on straight away so that you can be preparing your triangles if you didn't do them already last night. So right, here we go. I found it. So we're going to go live on the hour or on the half hour if you're in India. Ah, I know what I was going to do. Lost track. And here it is. Right, I've got the link for you. I'm going to put that on straight away on comment on the live. And that way you can be preparing your triangles. I've got 4 triangles prepared. And if you can't print out, then I will be doing another live immediately after this to tell you how to print them out. There you have the link. I've just posted it so that you can prepare your triangles. We've got 4 triangles, 2 equilaterals of different lengths. What determines the lengths is this square base right angled. It's actually a right angled isosceles triangle. Those are the same. That's a right angle, and that's a different length. And those lengths are the only 2 lengths we have in all of these triangles. So we're starting in 5 minutes. We're doing triangles to tetrahedra. There are triangles in this resource. Please print out the resource. And you need lots of triangles. We need to prepare to do the activity. I'm going to do the activity without having them all prepared, so you can go back and do it later. But there are several of these you can print. You only need to print 1 out. But you're going to need 8 large, 8 small, 10 isosceles, 10 large, 10 small equilaterals, 10 isosceles, and 14 right angle triangles in order to do this activity. So you can just take your time over doing the activity. I'm just going to cover how all of the bases during the live. Let me just get finished. I've prepared. Now what you want to do is prepare them. I've prepared mine on some very thin card. And then what you can do, that's if you can't print out. This is for if you can't print out. If you can print out, then what you do is you get the resource and get a pin and just put a pin through onto the card. Well, maximize your resource, so don't use that right angle, and put a pin mark at the edges and then a line and then cut through. Pin mark on all the, not the edges, the vertices. Pin mark on all the vertices and then cut out. I'll write the quantities of those on here as well in a minute. I'll just finish doing putting the links on for you on the live. Here we go. Here's this live on the, got the link there. So that's on the Facebook page, the Bubbly Maths Facebook page. Now, lastly, I'm going to share this. Start a watch party. That's it. I've got 3 minutes left. Okay, that's going, that's on the group. I've got one person watching. Hello, whoever you are. I've got 3 minutes to go. 3 minutes left. Whoopsie, turn that volume off. It's running on the page, on the Bubbly Maths page. And the watch party is going very shortly. When it's going, I will add the link. So you've got the link to the resource so you can prepare the triangles. So while we've got 2 minutes left, I'm just going to demonstrate how you would prepare the triangles. I'm going to use a compass point. You can use, oh, there's my compass. Use a compass point. You can use a needle. You can use anything that's got a point. So I'm going to take advantage of this right angle on this piece of cardboard. It's a nice right angle, so I may as well use it. So that's going to go there and there. We need, tell you how many we need. I'm just going to do them where they are. Otherwise I might go a little bit. Oh, well, no, I'm going to save cutting one of the edges. Oh, you've got to be careful though. No, I'm not. And I'm not going to save cutting one of the edges because then I might get it wrong. 1, 2, 3. I can go ahead with that one there. 1, 2, 3. And then I'll put that one over here. Over here. You can make it a lot more efficient than this. Take your time about it. 1, 2, 3. Now we need to cut out. So that's how you can just mark them on a paper and then join the lines. So we've got 1, 2, 3 there. Join those. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then this one there. 1, 2, 3. Now, what we need is, it's nearly time. Very quickly, we need, I'm going to write it on here, 8 large equilaterals. So 8 of those. We need 8 of the small equilaterals. So 8 of those. We need 10 isosceles, which is this one, which is 2 edges the same length. Those equilaterals, they're all the same. 10 isosceles triangles, and then this is a right angled isosceles, and we need 14 of, sorry, I've done that the wrong way up for you. 14 of those. I'll put that both ways up. 10, there you go. And can't see that very well, can you? Hold it up there. Okay. Right. And it's 10 o'clock. It's 9 o'clock. I'm going to see what you can see. And hello, Russell. Hello, Andy. Hello, Aileen. Thank you for joining. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. And hello, welcome to today's live for that Bubbly Maths is presenting for AIMSEC based on the Aiming High resources. So what are we going to do today? We're going to make lots of triangles. We're going to see what we can make with lots of triangles because you won't have time to make them all during the live. And then when the live is finished, we want to make all those triangles. We've got to make a total of 16 plus 14, that's 30 plus 10, 40 triangles to do all the activities. So what we're going to use is four different triangles. Now let's see if the light works there. 4 different triangles. There we go, that's better. And they have to be, the edges have to be careful, very carefully made. So their edges are, and that part is super important, the edges are, these two are the same length, and that's a different length. So those are A, that's B, then these are then, and all the triangles have to match that. Otherwise, we won't be able to make the tetrahedra. Okay, and these are equilaterals of edge length A. This is an equilateral of edge length B, and this is an isosceles triangle with 1 edge length A and 2 edge lengths B. So there's only 2 lengths in the whole setup. Now I've cut out a set here, and we're going to, with these, I'm not going to do all the activity, you're going to do the activity, but I've got these cut out so that you can see, become familiar with them. Okay, now, the first thing you'll have to do is download the resource, which is in the description or the comments. And then what we're going to do is, I'm going to read this, and now you're going to look at me. Hello. So we're going to make tetrahedra. Now, what is a tetrahedron? A tetrahedron literally means tetra meaning 4, hedron meaning face. That's ancient Greek, in case you were wondering. And so it's a solid with 4 faces. Now, the question is, how many different tetrahedra can you make with these 4 triangles? As I say, you've got to make, oh, they're not written on here, it was 10 of this, 14 of this, 10 of this, and no, 8, 8, 14, and 10. And so you can just use, you cut out 1 lot to make a template, and you can, what you can do is you print out, if you can print out, and if not, we're going to make instructions for you for drawing them. In fact, the instructions for drawing them are on the resource. And then what you do is cut out the first lot, pierce with a pin on all the 4. I've got the card here where I've pierced with a pin all the edges, and then join the dots, and then cut out the triangles. Those could be your templates. Now I've actually used a template of really thin card. My template's a nice and thin card from some biscuits or cereal box, and that way when you draw around it, one thing is when you draw around it, they all want to be the same size. So when you draw around it, you want to cut off the line. So that's the basics of that. So let's get on to the meat. Now, what we're going to do, we know our, oh, get back my triangles, there we go. So we're going to make tetrahedra, and we're going to obviously match B with B. There's only those 2 lengths, B with B. Let's do it that way. B with B. I guess I'll bring the camera down to do that. Hold on, see you in a minute. Boing. Match B with B. And A with A. Let's see if I'm actually going to come up with one now. And now we've got, I'm going to turn this around so you can see what I'm looking at. B with B, A with A, and all we've got left, yeah, all we've got left is, those angles don't even match. This does not bode well. All we've got left is an A, but we've got an A and 2 B's, so that isn't going to work. That's just not working at all. Right, so as you can see, a little bit of care has to be taken, a little bit of thought. I recommend, if you can get it, to get some masking tape to attach them together, because this can come off and be put on again, so you can have a go and have different. I'm thinking, okay, what my brain is now thinking is if I put that one on the base, oh no, I don't have enough faces to do that either. That's not going to work either. Oh my goodness, so how am I going to do it? That is a good question. So that is what you're going to be doing. Not as easy as you might think. And then just let's go through what we're going to do. So I'm going to do another session at in 55 minutes for the early years, for little E's. And now what I will do between now and then is I am going to do another live on how to make the shapes. So I found that I found that helpful to get some guidance. So I'm going to do an extra live on how to make the shapes for this one. So if you want to stick around once this is over, then I will do a session literally on doing that. So if you can get some cardboard together, some old cereal boxes, scissors, ruler, and something to make holes with if you've got a compass, or anything where you can make holes with it, a needle, or anything that you can make holes with. So we're going to do a session for the young children now if you're between the ages of 7 and 11, just making the triangles is a lovely, just doing those triangles, making the triangles, cutting them out, and then what I want you to do is make nets that you think are going to work. So what does that going to look like? That's going to look like, we've got 4 of these. We're going to put them together in such a way that we think they might work. So I'm going to put this down here, that there, that there, that there. Is that now going to be a successful tetrahedron? Is that going to work? Right, that's what you're going to do though. You're going to put together all different shapes to see what you can make into a successful tetrahedron. Put those 4 triangles together to find all the different nets that when you bring them up, you're going to make a successful tetrahedron. Oops, you can't see what I did. There you go, like that. Now there's lots of different ways of doing it. So see if you can find them all and find all the different ways of doing it. And you can do it by using the triangles and just testing it out. Okay, now the next step is if you are aged 11 to 14 or so, your challenge is make the triangles, and then use, if possible, use the masking tape. It just makes it easier, and also it means it's easy to take off as well if you want to change what you're doing. And then so what you've got to find is, so different to the younger learners, you want to find as many different tetrahedra as possible, but also you want to so you want to make sure you found them all, is the point. You really want to find a way of being systematic to make sure that you found them all. Now this is a fun activity, and what you can then do is and then something that will happen is that you will end up making the same tetrahedron, that when you actually, because what you're doing is you're going to actually make the tetrahedra, you're going to make them into 3D shapes. And what you'll find is that you might make the same one, without realizing you've made the same one by turning it around. So they all want to be different. They all have to be different shapes. And that is the magical key. So So, okay, you want to make sure, again, that all the nets are completely different. And then you want to look for symmetry. So do you want to look for mirror images? You want to look for all those things that, you want to look for patterns and symmetries, and because that is different. If it's a mirror image, it is different. It'd be nice to notice whenever you have the same pyramid, but it's a mirror image of the other one. And then if you are aged 14 to 18 or 15 to 18, then do this activity, but what we want is written instructions and of reasons why, of how many tetrahedra you can make with these 4 triangles, and a written reason why you have found the complete set of all possibilities. And then also a clear summary. So this is for the older learners, maybe 15 to 18, a clear summary of all the symmetries of each of the tetrahedra. So that is the activity for today. And what you're benefiting from it is giving you lots of experience visualizing your tetrahedra, figuring out which ones are actually the same. If you just turn it around, like, oops, that's actually the same tetrahedron as that one. They all have to be different. And working systematically to solve a problem. So being systematic helps you solve problems in all areas of life. And use and just experience, even in just cutting out the triangles accurately, that all builds up your dexterity and your ability to make things precisely and nicely. And so what you'll come away with having hopefully a much better understanding of how to make nets with geometric shapes. So nets of solids, having played with it. So this isn't something else you can do. So an extension of that you could do is, for example, have maybe 4 equilateral triangles or 4 squares, or more. How many squares would you need to make a regular solid? So you can extend it doing things like that, and you can actually make yourself a bunch of solids by just using triangles. And I highly recommend masking tape if you can get it, but any tape will do in order to do it. So that's it for today. Please do like, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel, the Bubbly Maths YouTube channel, and please also subscribe to the Maths Toys YouTube channel, because that's going to have a much more formal version of what I'm doing here. This is the live, and this is, I'm now going to go and have a look and see who's come to say hello, if we've got any questions, whereas the Maths Toys YouTube channel is just, here are the instructions, this is how to do it, and off you go, your task to go. So I'm now going to have, also there's some other questions. Okay, sorry, I've got some other questions before. I'm going to have a look, see what we've got. I do have some other questions, which I've lost track of. Yeah, here's the questions. So yeah, the main questions are, just to review, how many different tetrahedra can you make if you have an unlimited number of each type? Did you spot my deliberate mistake? And how can you be sure you found them all? So remember that what you actually need is what you need as the quantities. Where did I write the quantities to help you out there? You really do need those quantities. So I don't know if you noticed that, while I was doing these, I want you to have another look at those 4. I'll put those 4 together carefully and see, is it actually possible to make a tetrahedron where all the edges attach using just these 4 shapes, 4 different shapes. Is it even possible? So you could start with that as an activity, but you do need to cut out 8 of these, 8 of these, 10 of these, and 14 of these. Now that's kind of giving you the quantities, which is also giving you a bit of a hint as to when you've maybe completed the project, but you will need all of those to be able to make all the shapes you need to make in order to solve the puzzle. So let's see if anybody said hello. Any questions? Hi, Lisa. Sending love, Lisa. Vibeke. Hi, Vibeke. That's Vibeke in Denmark. Lisa, not so far from me. Rod in South Africa. Rosemary. Hi, Rosemary. Paul. Hi, Salvo. Alina in Poland. Hello. Aileen Patel. I don't know where in the world you are, but thank you for joining us. And let me see if there's any other comments. They're delayed. The comments, unfortunately, are delayed. And I had a whole bunch of comments yesterday. I didn't see them. Ah, hello, Stephen Conway. Good to see you. So I did get that. I did get to see that comment. And this is an excellent activity for my granddaughters, Stephen. Something they might not have done in school. And it's great brain training and visualization training, especially for budding artists like my granddaughters are. Okay, I don't see any other comments at this point. So on that note, I'm going to sign off and I'm going to then start another live to help you with making all those triangles. I've got to make them anyway to make sure I've got enough for the early years session. So I'm going to do another live now. So if you want to follow along with me, I'm going to do it 2 different ways. One is by using the template. If you can print out all the resources in the description below, and if you print it out, you can just, you'll see it. Just print it out if you can, and if you can't print it out, get a ruler. Either way, you're going to need a ruler. You're going to need something sharp to make a hole with, and you might need, if you can't print out, you're going to need a protractor or a compass. So there's different ways of doing it, and you definitely will need a ruler and obviously something to draw with and some paper. So I'll see you in a minute on the live for making these triangles. See you now. So this is like the pregnant pause moment when I'm ready to, and yeah, the watch party, I can no longer see who's there. So if anybody else has joined us, I can't see your names. I'm really sorry. And I'll just sign off. Thank you very much. See you now. I'm coming right back.